أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد والثناء لله رب العالمين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Okay, so class 16 of Sورة البقرة. There's a lot to cover this lesson, a lot, and we don't have much time. Now previously, I'll just quickly, for those people that weren't here last week, I'll just do a quick summary of the past 2 weeks. I'll do a really quick summary. Firstly, for those who haven't got the summary from ayahs 1 to 29 and still want one, just come pick it up off me. As for the beginning of ayah 30 and touching on 31, so the ayah when the Lord said to the angels, I am appointing on this earth a Khalifa or a deputy, and we will place therein one who will make mischief. And then the angel said, will you place there someone who will cause mischief and shed blood? So they were protesting in a sense. They didn't understand the wisdom behind it. And Allah then replied to them, while we do tasbih, we do this, we do that, these guys do this and we do this, and you're putting him as a Khalifa. And Allah responds, I know what you don't know. Okay? So the few things that we got from this, from the previous ayah going on to this ayah, everything was created for mankind. Everything is at the disposal of mankind. This whole earth, the heavens, everything is for mankind to use for their benefit. And Allah chose a caliph, and the caliph or a khalifa has to be or should be, at least in theory, a reflection of his attributes. Okay? The one that represents him best. Okay? And we understand that the position is greater than the angels, because he is a Khalifa more fitting than the angels, and man has the potential to either be above the angels or below animals. This is the potential of mankind. And angels, because of Allah's silence, and not saying that they're wrong, we know that the angels were not wrong in their claim. It was not, and the angels were not objecting in the sense that they were saying, Allah, don't do this. We know better than you. No. Instead, they didn't understand the wisdom. They were going to submit to this anyway, but they say, what's the wisdom? I don't get it. He's causing mischief. We're praising you. Aren't we a better reflection of your attributes? And then Allah said, we will. I know better than what you know. Okay. And then we spoke about the theories about how the angels knew of this. We spoke about 3 or 4 theories, and also the brother Haji Abu Muhammad. Okay, Abu Muhammad. He also explained one of the theories, which is that the angels were not bound by time. Therefore, they knew what was going to happen. So that is also another theory. We spoke about the tasbih. Okay, ayah 31, and he. This is as far as we got last week. This slide is as far as we got last week, where the ayah was وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ عَلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. And he taught, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught the names to Adam, the names to Adam, and then he presented the named things, the things that were named. So whatever was named, he presented them to the angels, and he said, and Allah said to the angels, okay, tell me what the names of these things are if you are truthful. Truthful about what? Truthful about what? Their claim, their so-called claim that they are more fitting of the Khalifa. Okay? This is where the question came in. The question was, how is naming these things going to prove the angels wrong? So there was a few things, hang on a second, I know you're excited, but there was a few things discussed. A, what were the names? What were the names? Okay? B, what were the named things? Okay? And C, how was this, whatever it was that he named, that Adam was able to learn the names of, whatever it was, how is knowing the names of certain things, while the angels don't know the names of those certain things, how is that a proof upon the angels to show that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the one that is more fitting for the Khalifa? Okay? You've got a theory, don't you? Okay? I asked you guys last week to go, and we came up with a lot of theories, Some were very warm, some were not so warm. And I asked you guys to go and investigate. But I'd love to get into another discussion. But first I want to get this started. I want to get the ball rolling because we don't have too much time. Okay? So what I'll do first is I'm just going to give a bit of context. Okay? The following ayahs give a bit more clues. So I just want to go touch upon the other ayahs and we'll go into the tafsir of those a bit deeper later. So we know the first two ayahs. The important part is, and he, number 31, and he taught the names to Adam, all of them, kulluha, all of the names, okay? And then he presented to the angels, he said, tell me these names if you are truthful, if you are right, right? Then they said, subhanallah, glory be to you. We don't know anything unless you teach us. Unless you teach us. And surely you are the all-knowing, the all-wise, okay? Then he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Adam, okay, go tell him the names. Tell the angels the names of these things. So Adam told them the names, and straight away Allah said to the angels, see? Didn't I say to you that I know the unseen things, I know the ghaib, and the things of the heaven and the earth, and what I know, and that I know what you reveal and what is inside. So basically I know what's in your heart as well to the angels. Okay? So the question was, how is this a proof? I want to actually just ask one person to give me a theory. Anyone want to give me the theory that they've come up with?
So what the names are, or C? I've got one for how they are proven wrong.
Okay, how are they proven wrong?
Because Allah created each angel for something in particular. So the angel in object, the angel that the messenger. So each angel has a specific. But Adam, which is humanity, right? They kind of can do whatever, and they try to do it. Said he was
I don't get it.
They're not bound by one task, whereas he's saying that angels were created with a certain particular responsibility.
So you're saying that angels only know and they only know one thing and can only comprehend one thing? Is that what you're saying? Both of you?
Each angel has one thing to comprehend by itself, right? But a human being has more than.
So they have more tasks to do, more responsibility?
Yeah. Well,
okay, but then the question remains is the angels knew what the humans were going to do. Okay? They knew that they were going to shed blood. Okay? Then Allah taught him names, and then Adam said those names. How did the angels understand what Adam was talking about if they only know one thing? That's one question that I posed. But anyway, anyone else want to give me a theory? Ali Ajman?
Could it be a possibility that in teaching Adam the names, it's proving to the angels that, hey, here you go, I know something that you don't, and I'm teaching my creation something that you don't know and you won't know unless I teach you, so they have a particular...
Is that fair? This was actually the discussion. Is that fair?
Yeah, of course.
Why is it fair? So this was the example that I gave. This time you're the good student. Okay? Dawood is my really good student, right? Jafar, not so much. This is the first time he comes. Alright? Dawood comes every week, right? But anyway, I go to Jafar, look, I'm going to prove to you that Dawood is a better student, okay? I didn't say that Dawood comes every week. I didn't say that this is the first time you come. In fact, I'm not even talking about the knowledge that you have. But I say this. Dawood, this is called a projector, okay? Okay. Now, you didn't hear me. You have no idea what this is. And I come to Jafar and I say, Jafar, what's this? And you say, I don't know. I only know what you teach me. So look at the acknowledgement that they've made. They've already said, we only know what you taught us. Then I said to Dawood, tell me what it is. And he says, okay. And then the angel's like, whoa, that's so cool. Despite the fact they already knew that no one knows anything unless Allah teaches them. And Allah taught maybe Adam, not Dawood, right? But he also taught Dawood indirectly. But he didn't teach the angels. So the question still remains, where is the justice in this? The angels knew they won't learn anything. So if I had taught Ja'far are the names. There would be no difference between them.
But Ja'far or the angels are the ones that asked Allah as to why. So he was just showing the evidence as to how Adam can be better. Because if the angels hadn't have asked Allah, he wouldn't have brought this scenario upon them.
Okay, good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just stop there. No more questions, no more answers. Okay? I don't have time. I'm going to quickly go into it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a set of theories. I'm not going to tell you my opinion. My opinion is in the end worthless. I will give you my opinion perhaps, but I'm not going to, let me put it this way. I'm going to be as unbiased and impartial as possible. But I know, knowing myself, I'm a very biased person and I'm very, opinionated. So I will somehow hint that I don't like this opinion or I like this opinion. Okay? And I'm going to start with the tafasir of the Sunnis. Then I'm going to go into the tafasir of the Shia. And then I'm going to go into the tafasir of the Irfani/Sufi interpretation. Okay? So that's 3 sets. In fact, I'm even going to go into interpretation of different sects of Shi'ism. For example, the Zaydis. Okay? And I'm going to be as unbiased as possible. And I'm going to defend it, inshallah. Which I doubt I'll be able to do. Can you just click on that?
Just go to the next slide.
Just click on the thing so I can click.
Click.
Yep.
Okay. So this is the non-Shia theories. Okay? Non-Shia theories. The first one is Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir is one of the most popular Sunni tafasir. Okay? One of the most popular Sunni tafasirs. This is because he was dependent upon the ahadith of the Prophet. Okay? He claims that he did not use much opinions, but he depended on the hadith, the authentic hadith of the Prophet. So, what is his theory about what the names are? Okay, you guys can probably see, and you can see my little hint about this theory. One of his theories is that he named, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught the names of everything to Adam. The mountains, the valleys, even the passing of wind, meaning afar. Okay? Even this. Now, keep in mind this is actually based upon what? A hadith. Ibn Abbas, according to the Shias, the non-Shias, the Sunnis, according to them, Ibn Abbas narrated from the Prophet that he said that this is the names of everything, including passing wind. He said actually afar and afar. And I'll explain what that means. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I will continue. Okay? We'll continue right on. And so the angels lacked this knowledge. They didn't know everything, right? And the angels lacked knowledge of what will actually happen on earth. So in the end, Ibn Kathir says, the names, he taught them everything. Okay, everything. Be it even the creations coming. My name, your name, Dawood, Ja'far, Ali, Amir. The names of everything, including parts. So, and through this, he says, look at the knowledge that Adam has. This is the knowledge that Adam has. And you think that you know what's going to happen on earth in the future? You think you know? And this is the argument. Okay, this is Ibn Kathir, one of the most famous of Sunni tafasir. The next is As-Suyuti. This one is actually in Ad-Durr al-Manthur. Okay? What this is a hadith compilation. This is similar to the Shia version of Al-Burhan. What it is it's not commentary. There's no commentary in it. All it is this surah, this ayah, all the hadiths related to it. The next ayah, all the hadiths related to it. And he brings a lot of hadiths. Some of them say it's everything. Some of them says and it includes the hadith of Ibn Abbas. Some of them, it says that it was specifically the names of the angels only. So for example, let's say Dawood is an angel, and he's complaining. He didn't even know his own name. So Allah taught Adam the name of Dawood. And then he said, so then Allah showed themselves to themselves. And he said, name this thing, which is yourself. And he said, we don't know except what you told us. And then he told them their own names. This is a theory. And then another theory, which is not necessarily such a bad one, is that it was the names of all the children of Adam. The names of all the children of Adam. And this, how is this a proof? Is because if I teach the names of everyone from the children of Adam, it will include the people like Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nabi Ibrahim, Nabi Musa, Nabi, and so on and so forth. And it wasn't just the names, but who they actually are. And so he says these names, and so the angels recognize how amazing these people are, and they say, if these are the people that's going to be on earth, despite them causing mischief, some of them, you've got these people, and they deserve, they're much better than us. And this is known. Yep.
Just a question. Do the hadith state categorically that he was taught everything?
Yes.
The ones that they cite?
Yes.
That he was taught the names of
Everything. So it says
okay.
he was taught the names of everything, including these, and he started pointing at things. So for example, in one of the hadiths, and this is in the Shia hadith as well, which we'll get to, he said, somebody asked, is this pot and this pan and this plate counted as the names of the things? And the Imam actually says, yes, even these things. And then he looks at the carpet, he says, even this carpet. Okay? Everything. Okay? Next. Now, As-Suyuti, this guy, his name is Jalaluddin As-Suyuti. Okay? He's actually one of the masters, very well respected in the Sunni world. One of the masters of Arabic. He wrote over, I think it was 200 or 600 books. I can't remember. Amazing scholar. Okay? His first, or one of the first tafsir books he wrote was Ad-Durr al-Manthur. That was just hadith. Another one was called Tafsir al-Jalalain. Okay? His name is what? Jalaluddin as-Suyuti. His teacher, his name was Jalaluddin, I think al-Mahali. Okay? His teacher started writing this tafsir book. He passed away. So his student Jalaluddin as-Suyuti finished it off. And this is why it's called Tafsir al-Jalalain. Jalalain means two of the Jalals. The two Jalals. Okay? So, Tafsir al-Jalalain. He also suggests it means the names of everything. And with this one, he actually puts commentary. Okay? And remember, As-Suyuti was a master of Arabic. A master of Arabic. Unfortunately, he spent, in my opinion, which means nothing, but I'm going to share it anyway. He spends a lot of time explaining things like why the hadith says, and fart. Too much time. Instead of talking about other things as like the progeny, why the progeny was also named. So for example, remember he's a master of Arabic, and I want you guys to take this seriously. He says, wal faswa. Okay? Now he starts to explain al faswa, wal faswa. Wal faswa means and the fart in the hadith. Okay? He goes, wal faswa huwa ar-rih al-khariji min ad-dubur bila sawt. This is in the tafsir of the Quran, the tafsir of the names that Allah taught Adam. He said, هو الريح الخارج من الدبر بلا صوت. This is the type of fart that comes out from your rear without any sound. فإن كان شديدا سمي فسوة. If it's a strong one, it's named فسوة. وإن كان خفيفا سمي فسية. And if it's a soft one, it's called fusayya. This is why the hadith says al-faswa wal-fusayya. Okay, understood? So in the hadith, he's saying he named him everything, even the different types of names for farts. So the soft, the one, and this is the only ones without sound. The soft ones and the strong ones. Fasya wal-fusayya. And then he goes, وَإِنْ كَانَ بِصَوْتٍ سُمِيَ ضَرَاطًا. And if it's one with sound, it's called adarta, another name for a fart. So he spent a lot of time, the master of Arabic, explaining the wisdom behind this hadith, attributed to Ibn Abbas, to the Prophet ﷺ. Okay, but he did mention something very important. This was in the Arabic. In the English version of Suyuti, Tafsir al-Jalalain, it's much more condensed, so it doesn't include that sort of stuff. So if you're going to go looking for that, which I don't recommend, it's not going to benefit you. I know some people will go and start looking for this to say, oh, look what your religion believes in. This is not why I'm teaching you guys, okay? But in the English version, it's a very condensed version, and this is all that it says. Instead of 3 pages, it's just 1 paragraph. He says, and he taught Adam the names, that is, the names of things named. Basically, he taught the names of things that are named, okay? All of them, by placing knowledge of them into his heart, okay? So it wasn't like he was saying, okay, this is this, this is this, this is this. He put all that knowledge into his heart. Similar, in concept, similar to the way that Jibreel put the Quran into the heart of the Prophet. The whole of the Quran, okay? So he put it into his heart. Then he presented them. Allah presented them to the angel. And these names, okay, or the named things. But this, look what's involved, he says, and a majority of which concerned intellectual beings. So a majority of the things that he presented was intellectual beings. Not beings, sorry, beings. So beings, things that are alive, that have intellect. Okay, people that, things that have the ability to ponder. Okay? And then he said to the angels, so he presented to the angels and he says, now tell me what their names are, and so on and so forth, okay? And then he was saying in the end, see, I created the most knowledgeable of things, because I didn't do them, okay? This was in the condensed version. Now this part, and the majority of which concerned intellectual beings, where did he get this from? I'll explain this second. Remember, this guy's a master of Arabic. So, he said, and in the Arabic it says, وَفِيهِ تَغْلِيبَ الْأَقْلَاءِ. This is what the translation of, and the majority of which are intellectual beings. So, where did he get this from? Actually, I'm not going to even bother with that. I'm going to use this. In the ayah it says, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. Okay, he taught Adam all the names. ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ. This is extremely important. See what I've highlighted and read? You probably can't see it. You see this? Hum. He says عَرَضَهُمْ. Now this is masculine plural pronoun. Masculine plural pronoun. When that is being used, that means either all or the majority of things that is being presented has to be intellectual things. This is Arabic. This is just purely Arabic. If it's something that's not an intellectual being, you would have used either عَرَضَهَا or عَرَضَهُنَّ. Okay? This is an extremely important point. Okay? In the Quran, what does it say? ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ. And you'll even notice from, and I want you guys to tell me why. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. What's ha? Intellectual or not intellectual? Non-intellectual. So, and Allah taught Adam all the names, كُلَّهَا, all of them. Now he said they're not intellectual. But then he says, ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ, intellectuals. Then he presented them. Why? Anyone? Is the Quran mixed up, confused? Yes.
Is there some things that he presented and some things he didn't present?
But okay, good point. So what do you mean? So explain it.
So you teach me all this knowledge,
Yeah.
right? And then I only regurgitate a certain part of the knowledge you taught me, because maybe some of the other things aren't that important.
Allah said He taught him all the names,
Yeah.
then He presented them.
Okay, so he presented. So maybe.
So you're saying He named everything,
Mhm.
but then when He presented, He only presented some things? Okay, that's one theory, and that's correct. One of the theories is this. Anything else?
Is it that he presented 2 sets of things, names of non-intellectuals, and then he presented the intellectual beings as well?
That's similar to what Talib said. Let me give you another theory. Actually, I'll use the pen here. And this is, in my opinion, which is absolutely worthless, the correct answer. There's a difference between names and named. What's the difference?
General and specific.
General and specific?
Names is linguistic. Named we are talking about person.
Okay. Who is this?
This is name.
This is names.
Right.
Okay, very good. So is this Dawood?
This is Dawood.
Okay, but what's this?
This is name of somebody.
But this is Dawood and this is Dawood. Am I right?
No, you're
No.
not right.
Why?
Because this is Dawood, this is just a word. This is Dawood, he is Dawood. He is
Because
the
there's the
person.
thing which is named, and then there is the name, which is the
Perfect.
word for that
Perfect.
thing.
Okay.
Signifier and signifier.
Perfect. Perfect. So the difference between them is Allah taught the names. His names, names. Intellectual or non. If I say, for example, the word branch, okay? Branch, no, actually a different one. Let me just stick with Dawood, okay? Dawood. You're a very good example. Dawood, the word, the name, is not intellectual. If I attach it to someone else, if I attach it to that photo frame, I say that's Dawood. Both the name and the named is not intellectual. But here the name is not intellectual, but the named, the thing that is named, is intellectual. Everyone understand? Everyone does not understand? Put their hands up, please. Or forever hold your peace.
I'm sorry, I have to say it now.
Go on.
That's not the wood photo frame, that's the metal photo
Oh, 10 points, Dawood. 10 points.
That was actually really good. Did everyone get that, by the way? Okay. Zachariah, did you understand this, what I'm saying? Okay. Let me put it this way. Zachariah, the word Zachariah, okay? Who is Zachariah?
Well, then, it could be me, it could be Prophet Zechariah, and it could be anyone else.
It can be anyone else named Zachariah. Yeah, okay. If I change your name to Chair, okay, I change your name to Chair. Are you still intellectual? Do you still have a brain that you can use? If I change your name to Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Because I'm just changing your name. The name is something that doesn't have a brain, that name. But you yourself, whether your name is Zachariah, Michael, David, Chair, it doesn't matter. You've still got a brain. Okay? Understood? Okay. So, وعلم الأسماء كلها. Okay? ثم عرضهم على الملائكة. Okay? So, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word عرضهم, we know that at least the majority, if not all the things, were intellectual. Okay? Which raises a very big question. Okay? Which we'll get to inshallah. And so he named each thing by its appellation, or by, he named each thing with its, he explained everything, all its characteristics. It's not just the names he taught Adam, because the names are worthless. Names are just names. But when you explain the name and what that name, the name thing actually is, that's when it's worth something, okay? And so this is what As-Suyuti says, and he says, and the knowledge of Adam was taken from our prophet. This is something amazing. At the conclusion, unfortunately just one line he left it at. Few lines for Al-Faswa, but one line only for this, where he says, the knowledge of Adam actually was taken from who? Nabi Muhammad. Why? His argument is, okay, you tell me the argument.
Is it because the Quran was already created
Yep.
before,
Yep.
and the Quran was handed down to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
So the Quran was created before, and then
It was handed down
it was handed down to when?
later.
Later. So how did the knowledge of Adam come from Nabi Muhammad? I'll just explain what Suyuti says. I'm not going to say this is right, I'm not going to say this is wrong. All he says is this. He says, it doesn't make sense that Adam was only taught the names and he became the Khalifa. While the Prophet, we know from his Sunnah, he knew the names of things and the meanings of the names of those things. But at the same time, we can't say that Nabi Adam has more knowledge than the Prophet. because the Prophet was the most knowledgeable, the closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, the knowledge of Muhammad is the asl, the essence, the core, the origins of knowledge. أنا مدينة العلم وعلي بابها. Forget علي بابها for a second. He says, Rasulullah says, I am the city of knowledge. Therefore, any knowledge that comes has to come from Rasulullah. This is his argument. He leaves it very brief. He doesn't elaborate. Probably you can refute it. Probably you can elaborate on it. I'm not going to talk any more about that. Non-Shia theories. I don't know why I put a second theory. Fakhr al-Razi, okay? Fakhr al-Razi. He gives a lot of different scenarios. He doesn't say this is my opinion. He just gives a lot of different scenarios. He's also one of the very famous Sunni ulama. How much time do I have?
Yeah, roughly 10 minutes.
Okay, maybe I'll only finish up with Sunni tafasir today.
Yeah, good idea.
I don't want to rush it, yeah? Huh?
You're going to leave us with that as a Sunni?
Yeah. Doesn't mean it's wrong. In fact, who says it doesn't correlate the same as the Shia? But keep your mind open for next week. Which I'm forcing you guys to come next week. Okay, so Fakhr al-Razi. He says that the popular opinion of this school of thought, the Sunni school of thought, the popular opinion is what? That is the names of everything. So he confirms this. That the popular opinion is that it's the names of everything. Now, this is where he starts to pose some arguments. I'll give you one of these arguments. He says, why was Adam superior just by knowing the names? It's because he learnt the names in every single language that has ever been known to mankind. Every single language. Roman, Farsi, Arabic, Double Dutch, Dutch. Very ugly language. Alright? I'm just annoying my wife. Anyway. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. She's going to kill me for that. Okay, Arabic, Persian, Roman. Okay, all the languages. Adam learned all the languages. Okay? Now, how is this a proof against the angels? How is this a proof against the angels? Because the angels, and this goes back to what Mustafa actually said. Are you listening? This actually goes back to what Mustafa actually said. That the angels were only had knowledge of certain things. Okay? So, for example, one angel only knows Roman. One angel only knows Farsi. One angel only knows Arabic. One angel only knows Dutch. Okay? And so, wait one second, let me finish and then maybe you'll answer your question. Okay? They all only knew one language. So then when Adam came and started telling him the names of everything, and he says chair in Arabic, kursi. He says it in English, chair. He says it in Dutch, hoofdslagen. He says it in all these languages. Now the angels would, if they only know one language, that's going to be meaningless to them. They'll recognize the one word, and they'll be like, okay, what now he's talking to you, what is he saying? But then the next angel will also understand one thing. And so what happens is they come together in like a meeting, and he'd be like, he spoke Farsi. And the next angel will be like, he spoke Roman. And the next angel will say, he spoke in this language. So they all come together like, wow, this guy's amazing. He knows all the languages. How the actual angels communicated between each other, I don't know. He didn't explain that. But because that question, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I didn't understand that particular part. By the way, this is also raised by other Shia ulama. So don't think that this is just silly Sunnis. Okay? That's Salah.
That's
Was it Sunni Salah? Okay. And again, he points out something. Again, he talks about وَعَرَضَهُمْ. He says, why did Allah say عَرَضَهُمْ and not عَرَضَهَا or عَرَضَهُنْ? He says because a majority were intellectual. And then he explains why. Because he says, because the majority was angels, was mankind, and was jinn. He only names these three species. And we know the angels, there's a hadith from our Prophet in Shia hadith, the number of angels is more than the specks of dust there is on earth. So the angels by itself would cover the majority. So therefore he used the intellectual for it, because the majority are intellectual, aqala. Okay? So how much time left?
What's number 53?
Let's see.
A couple of minutes. How long?
Can we get to the Shia theory, please?
Should I keep going?
Oh,
Should I give one Shia theory?
if we're going to run out of time and we can't cover it.
Well, let me give one Shia theory. This was very basic. This is al-amthal of Maqam al-Shirazi. One of the most popular, one of the most, in my opinion, most recommended tafsir in general. I'm not talking about this tafsir. Very simple. If you just want a quick answer without thinking too much and going into philosophical arguments, al-amthal is good. And if you want the English version, then it's also available. He says, he didn't just learn the names. He learned the philosophy and the secrets and the properties and the deeper meanings behind those names. Okay? It wasn't just the names, but he understood it. He understood the reality of it. Okay? And he also taught him the capacity of the language of learning and the skill of writing, and with its proper application to be able to nominate objects and whenever he needs to understand. So basically what he's trying to say is this: he didn't just teach him specific names. He taught him how to learn. He gave him the ability to discover things himself. To the point, back when we were talking about Neanderthals, let's posit for a second that we came from cavemen, okay? Whether that be Neanderthals or whether that be Adam, whatever. The development that we've had from using rocks and leaves to now using things that is unimaginable, where that now on my watch I can communicate or buy shares or do whatever it is. It's phenomenal. So he gave the ability. The angels, we don't see angels, even constructing things, but they're just doing what they're doing and that's it. No development whatsoever. Whereas we are developing beings. So this is what it's talking about. Now he gives the hadith. Imam al-Sadiq says, the purpose of these names is the lands and the mountains and the valleys and the riverbeds and in general everything. Okay? Then he looked at the rug under him and he said, even this rug is amongst the things he taught Adam. Okay? No first word for say yet. But he said everything. Everything. Notice that it sounds very similar to the other school of thought, doesn't it? It's not too much different. Okay? This is what I found to be the most basic of tafasir of this ayah. The most basic. Okay? And then he taught that Adam for his path and development, as we said, path and development to perfection and the capacity of learning and so on and so forth. And Surah Al-Qalam is an epitome of this. Well, Iqra. Surah Al-Alaq, sorry. I don't know why I put that. Yeah. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم علم الإنسان بالقلم. Allah taught man with the pen. And this epitomizes the development of mankind. Okay? And what happened was the angels were surprised at the immense knowledge that Nabi Adam has. Okay? And that's about it. That's an empty. I think that I've run out of time. Very basic. This, again, is the base. It reaches a stage where some tafasir say that Nabi Adam was not Adam. Nabi Adam was actually somebody else completely. Okay? So we'll get to that next week. Is there any questions? Any questions at all? No? All clear? Okay. Yes? Okay, good.
This is brilliant.
Is it?
Oh yeah, this unlike the last few, actually
Okay.
makes sense. And just, yeah.
Didn't make sense to you? Well,
Well,
that's your opinion.
Anyway,
Anyway, I don't want to pass judgment just because he's Shia.
But, yeah.
But just keep in mind. I must say something. Look, I'd like to say I didn't, but don't take everything that I say as gospel. I could have manipulated all this and took out the worst of the worst for other schools of thought and put the best of the best. I would like to say I'm honest, but go do your own research. Okay? I just want to point that out. That I could be manipulating this to say that we are the best. Okay? And I'm not even saying that I agree with this, by the way. Anyway, we'll finish with that. Next week, inshallah, we'll keep developing, okay? Into the more higher levels of the understandings. Not to say the high levels are correct, okay? صلوا على محمد وعلى محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد.